One of the better floor generals in the NBA right now is Trae Young. You can argue he is the best.
You said, wait, what?
Right now.
You said floor general. I thought you said floor raider. I mean, floor spacer, sorry.
Trae Young is having a phenomenal season, and this is a topic about Trae Young. Where do you rank him amongst the top point guards in the NBA? If you have a top 5 point guard list, you can step up to bat, or a top 10 point guard list, you can step up to the plate. I want to hear where you guys stand on this. Where does Trae Young rank?
You want me to go?
Yeah, you could go.
All right, so by default, you have to put Steph at 1. You have to put Steph at 1.
Wait, this is just this season or overall?
It's this season.
Yeah, we're talking this season.
Number 2, he has missed some time. I still have Luka over Trae Young. Number 3, I have Trae Young. Number 4, Ja Morant. Probably number 5. I feel
Chris Paul.
Yeah, I was gonna say it gets disrespectful to not say Chris Paul.
James Harden.
No.
I'm not gonna count him as a point guard for this.
Okay. So wait, are we gonna count Luka?
Yes.
Luka's a point guard.
No, I'm just asking, just so I understand. Okay.
Trae Young's been great. I still just don't think he's better than Luka. Personally, this season his team's playing a little bit better and they're winning some ball games. But last season was a lot of it being the Luka show, and Luka almost got past the Clippers, who went to the WCF. It's almost, and you know what, that really doesn't count for much, but Luka in every playoff series that he's been in, which has only been 2, and against the Clippers, who have both seasons had great teams, he's been arguably the best player in the series. So I think that I'm not going to hold it against him for losing, because he has put his team in positions to win. And even still, this guy Luka is a walking triple-double if he wants to. He is spectacular, can do everything offensively, gets rebounds as well. His defense could be a little bit better, but we're seeing strides in that now that Jason Kidd has implemented a new system over there. I still would put him over Trae Young, but that's not to knock anything that this man is doing. Offensively, he is one of the most gifted players in our league, scoring, shooting, facilitating the basketball. 29 and almost 10 assists. Is he averaging 10 assists? I wouldn't be surprised.
9.3.
He's been amazing for that Atlanta Hawks, and we're starting to see them start to creep into that play-in, close to that playoff spot. Atlanta's been playing really good basketball of late, but I don't know if he is over Luka for me yet. And Steph, he's having a bad stretch of, I guess, 2022. He hasn't been the best since 2022 has started, but you have to give him his respect as respect is due. His team is still top 2 in their conference, and he's the best shooter in the league still. Whether the efficiency is there or not right now, for years and years, he's just shown to be the most dominant point guard in the league. So I'm not going to hold a stretch of games for him, even though the season says otherwise, where he's averaging his career lows in field goal percentage and three-point percentage. It doesn't halt an entire career of being one of the most efficient players in the league. If they were losing because of him, maybe that would impact my decision, but even still, I have to show respect, even though, again, Steph's not one of my favorite players, but that can't halt me from my analysis of the game. So I have Steph, I have Luka, Trae, Ja, and CP3.
There's only one player in the league who, when he's off the court, his team has a worse plus-minus, and that's the
Steph?
Joker.
Oh, really?
That's the Joker.
Oh,
then Steph.
Okay.
And
My bad,
Steph's team, we know they're as great as they are. When he's off the court, they're still trying to figure things out. Steph's lowest efficiency year is probably is literally is still on par with Trae Young's, Ja Morant's. Like, even a low efficient year for him is a great efficiency year for them. We talking about just this season, so I'm not gonna sit here and talk about what Steph has built up his reputation.
No doubt.
So where he's cemented himself as the best point guard. Like, we're just talking about as of right now, 40 games in or however many games it's been, who's the best point guard in the league as of right now. And it's been tough because, like you said, Steph went on a little slump. He's been good.
2020
last 5 games,
yeah.
he's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully he climbs back up. But he had a bad stretch where he just wasn't good. It was a lot of inconsistency. Trae Young, it's tough because his team wasn't good. But in terms of just him individually, he's been playing like the best point guard in the league as of right now. So for me, if we're talking just right now, I would go probably Trae, Ja, Steph, Luka, and then I would go Chris Paul at 5 because I just think Trae Young, if we're not talking teams today, we're just talking about who's been playing the best. Trae Young has been performing as at an all-time high right now. He's been great. And then for John Morant, he's just been box office
awesome.
every time he's played. So, and Steph, that month really haunted him. So for right now, I can't put him at.
Can I ask you this question?
Talk to me.
Let's say the season ended right now, right? And ESPN came out with the list with the best players in the league. Do you believe that they would have Trae and Ja over Steph? Because that's how I'm looking at it.
I think still what Steph has built up, they would still probably, because 40 games isn't going to take away what Steph has done.
But that's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, but if we're talking just right now, right, like as of right now, because obviously we still got to wait for the playoffs, we still got to wait for the end of the season. But as of right now, it's hard to argue. Like Steph, the numbers, if you just look at the numbers, Steph is still there with those two guys. But we know from the eye test as of right now, Steph ain't been Steph for a minute. But Trae Young and John Morant have been them for a really long time. So those two guys I got to put in front of me for me. But I think, like you said, if we end of the season, Steph is still probably going to be the number one point guard in the league because it takes more than a year to take his crown. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, it's Trae, Ja, Steph, Luka, and then I'm going to go Chris Paul at 5.
For me, you want to go, bro?
You can go.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, so, I have Steph Curry number 1 still, obviously. A span of a lot of bad games that he's been having recently isn't going to really sway my opinion on him. He's still the best point guard to me in the NBA. He gets that respect from me. Although this year, he's been shooting 42% from the field and 38% from the three, which is, that's un-Steph-like. But number 2, I have Trae Young. I have Trae Young as a number 2 point guard in the NBA. I mean, he's averaging – this is a season – and I was a person that came into the season – skeptical on if the foul rules were going to hurt Trae Young's game. He comes out there and he's having the best season of his career. He's shooting 46% from the field, and he's shooting 38% from 3 on about 9 attempts a game. He's averaging like 28 points and 9 assists. As on court production, he's just been more productive. He's just been just a productive season. Number 3, this is kind of hard for me. I'm going to take Luka as number 3 over John Morant slightly. I mean, Luka Doncic is still putting up about 27 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. He got off to a slow start, but as he's catching momentum this season and getting more into shape, which was something that that was a question mark on him. I mean, Luka Doncic still, even last night he had a triple double. He's still that guy. John Moran, I mean, he's been box office this year, but I look at his numbers. His numbers really aren't up to par with the Luka or with the John Moran. Or with the Trae Young, or even with the Steph Curry. He's averaging slightly below in points, assists, and rebounds, and he's not really. I don't know. I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I'm not gonna have 1 year of John Moran and put him over Trae Young, who's I factor in playoffs as well and coming into the season as well. Trae Young just got to the ECF. However you want to square it, if Philly choked or whatever, he still got there. Luka has been putting up dominant numbers in the playoffs, back-to-back years against the Clippers, and then Steph Curry. I mean, I don't really have to talk about that. And then to round out my list, number 5, I mean, I have Chris Paul. I mean, he's somebody that I think should be in the MVP conversation. He's somebody that if you look at his raw numbers, not really impressive, but he's leading the league in assists, averaging 15 points per game. And I think he's just one of the most valuable players and leaders in the NBA, so he's going to get that respect from me. And I do think, although the numbers won't say it, I feel like he's having a better season than James Harden and a more impactful season. So that's why Chris Paul would round out my top 5. So my top 5 would be Steph, Trae, Luka, Ja, and Chris Paul.
So even if we were including Harden, you'd have CP3 over Harden?
Yes.
Okay.
This season.
Trae Young is the best point guard in the NBA right now. And I'd say he's one of 2 point guards that have the most bragging rights coming into this season. Chris Paul is the only other point guard outside of Trae that can say, I was the main reason why my team went to the finals. Trae didn't make it to the finals, but he made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Steph missed the playoffs. John Morant got eliminated in the first round. Luka Doncic got eliminated in the first round. Trae Young came to the season with the second most bragging rights, and he's averaging more points than any point guard in the NBA. Averaging more assists outside of Chris Paul, because Chris Paul is currently 1. And Trae Young shooting 46% from the field and 38% from 3. He's finally shooting like the sniper that we all knew he was coming out of Oklahoma. You have something to say about that?
No.
What you were going to say, I thought 38% wasn't a sniper.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I mean, for the shots that Trae takes, it's definitely a sniper.
That's why I didn't.
Steph is still a sniper. He's shooting 39%.
No, Steph is a sniper.
He's at 38%.
Steph is a sniper because he's
even this year, he's
shooter.
been like a sniper too. It's been kind of.
Do your thing, bro.
Yeah, you be remembering little details.
Question: do you think last year Trae Young was better than Luka?
No.
Okay, I agree. Just want to see where your head was at.
I really don't. I don't think Trae Young's better than Luka still.
So you're,
Okay.
but you're
Trae Young is
this year.
he's playing like the best point guard right now in basketball.
yeah, okay.
So if we're shaping it how I just asked Riv before, season ended right now, right? ESPN dropped their list. Do you believe that Trae Young would be the number one point guard?
Off production alone, he should be.
So that's what I'm asking you. So you believe this is how you're basing your list off of?
This is my list. Based on this season, the top 10 point guards in the NBA have been Trae Young, then it's Steph, then Luka, then Ja, Chris Paul, Darius Garland 6, LaMelo 7, Fred VanVleet 8, DeJounte Murray 9, and Drew Holiday 10. I'm putting Trae Young over Steph because I feel like Trae has had the better season. And you'll say the Hawks don't have the winning record. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games.
They've been good.
They've been injured all season long. They're finally getting healthy. And Trae, he's been having to carry. You know, this roster right now that he has isn't much better than what he had in his second year in Atlanta. You know, they have gotten older, but Trae still has to carry this Atlanta Hawks team. The Golden State Warriors are 12-7 without Draymond Green. You know, so they've missed the absence of Draymond. Trae Young to me is just the best. He's playing like the best point guard in basketball right now. Went up against Phoenix the other night versus Chris Paul and D Book and that Suns team who have the best net rating in basketball by far in the fourth quarter and out-clutched them at home. Trae Young has been the best point guard in the NBA, and his rise has been amazing to see. 2 years ago, I would have never thought I'd say he's on par with Luka. He's on par with Luka. They're neck and neck. And if you talk about resumes alone, and you talk about Trae just leading his team to the Eastern Conference Finals, Trae has the better resume. Their numbers are literally identical across the board when you measure those two. Moran is creeping. And I wouldn't be surprised if after this season, we are now talking about Moran, Trae Young, and Luka all in the same tier. Morant's not too far off. And if you even want to base team success this season and you want to base this off team success, Morant's over Luka this year.
So is Trae Young a top 10 player easy?
Yeah, he is.
And Luka's a top 10 player.
Yeah.
Because that's where I have the issue.
I think it's two different. He's going off just the 50 games we done played right now.
Who's over Trae Young if we're talking about top 10?
So obviously Steph,
KD.
LeBron, KD, Giannis,
Joel Embiid.
Luka, Joel Embiid,
Jokic.
Harden.
Harden's
Joker.
not better
Harden,
than Trae.
I don't think so either.
James Harden is not a top 10
He's
player
not.
right now.
Yo, I'm
Wait, you didn't ask. You said who's a top 10 player.
That was the question.
You talk about right now?
Right now.
James Harden is not a top 10 player.
Oh, right now.
No, he's not
I
playing
didn't
like
know.
a top
Right
10.
now, no. But that's the thing. Top
Jason
10,
Tatum or
Trae Young's better.
Young.
Trae Young is better.
I think it's close, but I say Trae Young.
You don't.
That's a
That's
tough
tough.
question.
Trae Young is better than Jason Tatum.
Top 10.
I think it's pretty close.
When you top most of the top 10, like when you're a top 5, top
Anthony
8
Davis.
players.
Trae is better than AD.
This year, Trae's been better.
That's so easy. Like you guys are saying that too easy for my liking.
It's
He has been.
he's been better
This year, sure.
He's been crazy this
But
year.
again,
That's what I'm
we've
saying. What are
seen
we
a
talking
healthy
Last year, too.
Because look,
Yeah, AD
He
was,
was hurt.
underwhelming
He was
last
hurt
year.
last year.
when we were 25 games in, Steph was the clear cut. Like he was one of the best players in the league. Like he was a top 2 player in the league. 25 games in. Now we're 50 games in, and we're changing it to Trae. So my thing
I'm
is,
not doing that.
No, I'm saying, but my thing
Yeah.
is it's hard to just say pinpoint it in the middle of a season. Yo, who's been the best? Who's been the best? Like it's really a end of the season. What do you
Discussion.
look like thing? Because at any moment it can change. At a moment it was looking like Ja. Now it's looking like Trae. Steph was looking clear.
Luka's looking good again.
LeBron
Well, great
was
again.
looking ridiculous. Now Anthony Davis looks great again. So it's like it's really it changes throughout the season.
It's a long season.
But what's been consistent and because this isn't I don't like in football obviously it changes year by year. But with basketball it's different. A top 10 player usually it's been the consistent guys because they've shown the consistent elite success